Imagine landing on Mars only to see that there are already footsteps in the Martian soil. These footsteps are not human. They are from the most advanced explorers in the solar system. AI robots, created by us to prepare for our first steps on another planet. What if I told you that this will very likely happen? Why will AI take the first steps on Mars? Why is it the key to surviving, navigating, and thriving out there? Today we'll go where no one has gone before. We'll explore how AI is becoming the ultimate tool in space exploration and how it's mandatory if we want to thrive on Mars one day. Is the great age of discovery over for us humans? My name is Felix, welcome to What About It. Let's dive right in and find some answers. Mars is a world that's very hostile to life. Any successful crewed mission will need the best preparation imaginable. But still, Mars is our neighboring planet, and compared to our other neighboring planet, Venus, Mars is a lot more inviting. At least it has a very thin atmosphere, reasonable gravity at 38% of Earth's, and survivable surface conditions. At least in a proper spacesuit. Venus, on the other hand, features extreme conditions with a thick, sulfuric acid-laden and very corrosive atmosphere. The atmospheric pressure is crushing, while temperatures exceed 450 degrees Celsius. That's like in an oven. Mars will undoubtedly be the first planet aside from Earth that humans will set foot on if we manage to get somewhere other than the Moon at all. Much scientific research remains before that can happen. That is why we've sent some of the best scientific tools to Mars already. Incredibly capable robots equipped with AI systems to help us learn all about our neighboring planet. Soon more AI-powered robots will follow. Humanoid machines setting foot on the reddish Martian soil long before humans will do so. So where are we right now? Let's find some examples of how AI is already exploring distant worlds for us first, before we dive into what the future will bring. If you haven't been living under a rock, you'll have heard the names of two of these fantastic machines, Curiosity and Perseverance. Both are robotic explorers that have helped us a lot with understanding the red planet, the vanguards of AI technology on Mars. It's interesting to note that at the time scientists developed the onboard systems for these rovers, AI was still far from being a universal buzzword. It was in its infancy. When the compact car-sized rover Curiosity launched from Cape Canaveral on November 26, 2011, its hard and software had been in the making for 7 years. Back in 2004, the idea of using AI was still very distant to the average human. While previous Mars rovers already had very rudimentary systems for limited autonomous operation, Curiosity was the first to be equipped with a proper AI system. This system is called Autonomous Exploration for Gathering Increased Science, or AEGIS for short. A smart system that picks interesting targets automatically. It uses a number of AI technologies including deep learning, computer vision, and neural networks. In a sense, the scientists at JPL really built Curiosity into the rover Curiosity. AEGIS enables the rover to conduct research, choose some of its targets, and assess the safety of its surroundings with minimal human intervention. In August 2013, Curiosity was on its way to Mount Sharp. Scientists believed the rock layers there hold information about environmental changes on ancient Mars. The time had come to test Curiosity's new AI-driven AutoNav system. And it worked. It analyzed the stereo pairs of pictures from the navigation cameras to calculate a safe driving path. This was no small feat, as it had to find a path free of obstacles, assess surface properties, and determine if the ground was safe. And determine it did. Curiosity also pioneered the use of AI to choose targets for its onboard laser to analyze. This instrument zaps rocks and then analyzes the gases that burn off in the process. The underlying AI system chooses the laser's target rocks based on their color and shape. By 2021, when the next generation of Mars rover touched down at Jezero crater, it came with advanced AI systems. Meet Perseverance, NASA's latest active Mars rover equipped with an advanced version of AEGIS AI, a brand new AI-enabled scientific instrument. This instrument is called Pixel, or Planetary Instrument for X-ray Lithochemistry. A tool that scans rocks for tiny chemical details. Its importance lies in its ability to determine if the analyzed rocks formed in conditions that would have allowed for microbial life to evolve. Adaptive sampling is the key here. Intelligent software chooses which rock to target and then analyzes pixel scans. The results then lead to the decision which minerals are worth examining more deeply. JPL's Abigail Elwood is the instrument's principal investigator. She said that NASA is using Pixel's AI to hone in on key science. Without it, you'd see a hint of something interesting in the data and then need to rescan the rock to study it more. This lets Pixel reach a conclusion without humans examining the data. But smart data collection that adjusts automatically depending on what's found is not the only AI trick up Perseverance's sleeves. Even before Pixel can fire its X-ray beam thousands of times at a stamp-sized piece of rock to scan for minute chemical details, it must be appropriately positioned. The instrument is located at the end of Perseverance's robotic arm. A spectrometer is an instrument that analyzes light or other electromagnetic radiation to find out what something is made of. It breaks the light into a spectrum, like a rainbow, measuring the different wavelengths each element in the target sample emits. It sits on 6 tiny robotic limbs, a hexapod. While Pixel's camera continuously checks the proximity to the targeted rock, it's the hexapod that allows for ultimate fine-tuning. And the hexapod's driver software was also given AI capability. This became necessary because temperature swings on Mars are large enough to expand or contract the robotic arm. Even though the differences are microscopic in scale, they could be enough to throw off Pixel's aim. Based on its AI software, the hexapod automatically adjusts the position of the instrument's emitter, assuring the proper alignment and distance required for reliable results. Now, let me be very clear here about one thing. When we talk about AI in this generation of rovers, it is far less capable than what we have gotten used to in the meantime back here on Earth. The early AI software used for these exploration machines has to work with a very limited dataset and on computational devices with very basic specs. It's not really smart yet. The closer we get to humans exploring Mars, the more important it is to gather reliable data about this planet and future landing sites, and from here on out, each new system we use to learn more about Mars will be vastly more capable than its predecessors. And these capabilities extend further than just software. Let's have a look at the hardware. So far, our Mars rovers have wheels. This means humans will take the first steps on Mars, right? Well, we might be wrong about that. While I won't judge a robot by its wheels, sci-fi offers a bolder vision. I grew up with humanoid robots in literature and on the screen just as you did. To be honest, I'm still waiting for these to arrive in the real world. AI assistants are already out there on other planets exploring for us. This is just the tip of the iceberg though. The wait for data from Starship Enterprise and other similar artificial helpers might be over soon. Possibly sooner than you think. AI is thought to change the world we live in, and it will do the same with other worlds. What will this future bring? Let's take a look together. Again, the backdrop for this revolution is Mars. If we believe SpaceX's CEO, the company will send 1 or more Starships to Mars as early as next year. Even if it turns out to be later though, it will likely happen at some point. While no human crew will be on board first, a few of the world's most advanced humanoid robots will be along for this proposed mission. Meet Optimus, Tesla's universal humanoid robot, which is in development as we speak. Even though this robot was conceived to do just about any task down here on Earth, it can also very well become mankind's first ambassador to take a step onto the Martian surface before us. It will help gather valuable information for the human Mars mission planned for just a few years later. It may not be the best explorer, but it is great at copying how humans move. And it can build and use structures the same way humans will someday. The speed of progress toward human-like robots is simply mind-boggling. While bipedal walking seemed to be all but impossible for a long time, state-of-the-art robots sport amazing agility. The latest advances in robotics manifested in machines that can match the elegance and refined movements of ballet dancers. Well, almost. One thing all these machines will share is AI. And for the first time, it will be a different type of AI that we all already use daily. AI that uses large datasets at its core, needing computing capabilities unheard of in previous planetary probes and rovers. On such a Starship-based robotic research and preparation mission, there is plenty of room to bring robots with exceptional computing power. The landing ship itself can be equipped with additional AI systems, acting as mission control, communication hub, and data center in real time. The ship will sit right next to the robots on the surface. But why just send AI? Why aren't we sending humans along with the robots when there is so much space on the ship? The answer is that we still know way too little about many aspects of a Mars mission. At this point, it is far too dangerous. A crewed Mars mission will be the longest space journey humans have ever attempted. It will take them much further away from our planet than any human has ever been. To give you a comparison, this is how far out humans have ventured into space. From Earth to the Moon, which on average is 384,400 kilometers away. While this already sounds distant, this number is dwarfed by the average distance between Earth and Mars being 225 million kilometers. Once human explorers embark on this mission, there is no way to abort or return home quickly. Space is hard and it can undoubtedly be unforgiving. That is why doing a robotic trial run and learning in a real-life scenario makes sense. Even this robotic mission requires a tremendous amount of preparation. Success is in no way guaranteed. Such a trial run is nothing new. It's the norm in human space exploration. For a recent example, just look at the Artemis program. Artemis 1 was an automated flight without humans aboard to verify all systems. This practice is also known from the Apollo program and those that came before it. What has changed is that today we have far superior computers and intelligent software solutions. As a matter of fact, from mission planning to engineering and manufacturing, every step of the journey is now assisted by AI systems. Let's have a step-by-step look at what it can do for such missions. Let's start at the beginning, mission planning. The complexity of interplanetary scientific missions is simply mind-boggling. Going from Earth to another planet is not like jumping in your car and heading down toward your destination. Going in a straight line is not an option, and forgetting to turn off the stove isn't the biggest mistake you can make. When you watch a rocket launch, you will notice that once it has cleared the launch pad, it soon starts to pitch over into a curve. The trajectory of a launch vehicle is never a straight line. No matter where and how far out in space we want to go, we need to start by inserting our rocket, or vehicle as an expert would say, into an orbit. Going straight out from the Earth toward the intended target would take an incredible amount of energy. Not feasible and impossible with today's technology. When the vehicle has reached its orbit, it circles our planet and is kept on its path by Earth's gravitational pull. The next step is to perform an engine burn to leave this orbit and head out away from the planet's gravitational field. Such an escape trajectory is still a curved motion, not a straight line. You accelerate in a forward motion while the planet's gravity still pulls your craft down toward it. The result of these overlying motions is a curved flight path like a thrown ball that goes up and down again. Your arm is the rocket's force, Earth's gravity is the second force. Same thing. Orbital mechanics in a very simple nutshell. Once you reach your target destination, you need to perform a deceleration burn. Simply said, a braking maneuver, so that you get caught by the gravitational pull of your destination once again and enter into a stable orbit around your targeted planet or moon. The more you reduce the force you put into your vehicle with the rocket when you leave Earth, the more the second force, in this case Mars's gravity, takes over and the orbit curves more and more until you're circling your target destination. Planning such a mission is very complex, and what adds to that is that the planets are constantly moving along their respective orbits around the Sun. This also exerts a gravitational pull on all objects in the solar system, including any craft traveling in it. That's why I said very simple nutshell. There is a lot more to it than you might think. To meet your chosen celestial object, you need to be able to calculate exactly where it will be by the time you want to arrive there. Of course, incredibly clever humans have made such calculations before. They even did it at a time when they had no technological aids except for slide rulers. Do you remember those? Yeah, I'm getting old. Today we have amazingly precise solar system models on which to base our planning. And this data is obviously also available for AI systems. Based on this, AI can produce more than just simple answers. It can be asked for complex planning, offering optimized mission plans for specific mission requirements. With AI, mission plans can be created at an unprecedented speed. This leaves planners with options. Even when evaluating and comparing options, AI can step in once again to help make decisions. In a sense, scientists and mission planners can ask the compiled data about our solar system directly for the best route, as if that data had a mind. AI finally enables us to not only tackle huge data sets, but also to take all of the data into consideration when finding optimal solutions. Once we've decided on the mission plan, we need to develop the required flight hardware. Engineers have always found ways to put the latest developments in computer science to good use. Every player in the space launch industry uses AI in their research and development departments already. For example, China's National Space Agency uses AI to design more efficient and powerful rocket engines. Similarly, many private companies that make up most of the space economy today use AI extensively. When we look at the huge variety of propulsion systems and rocket designs that are flown today, we can already see AI at work. If you feel that this shift from a state of "what is AI" to hearing about it every day has come insanely fast, you are right. AI hasn't only profoundly changed research and development, it has also done so at an unprecedented speed. The reason is quite simple. AI is at the forefront of technological advances, and it's already making an impact on computer technology. In a sense, AI is the first technology that actively works to improve its own capabilities. Are we building Skynet here? Asking for a friend. So it is no surprise that as we leave the planning phase for our spacecraft and move on to its construction, we are confronted with AI yet again. Most high-tech fabrication tools today are already working with their own flavor of AI. What industry pushes those tools harder than space exploration? We've gotten used to industrial robots building cars and assembling parts in factories. But building rocket parts? When precision is everything, down to the tiniest micron with no room for error? Should we really trust AI with this? I mean, it feels like 2 years ago that Will Smith couldn't hold his spaghetti in. Oh wait, that was only 2 years ago. Wanna see what that looks like 2 years later? That's the speed of AI development. Fresh Prince got manners. Fortunately, AI-based assistance is here to save the day. Examples for such systems where AI assistance makes the difference are large-scale 3D printing or ultra-precision welding. In such advanced production processes, AI can perform permanent real-time quality control. From these results, it can determine whether the production has to be halted or if adjustments are possible to still meet the set requirements, without an engineer. By now, we have the technical side of things covered. We get it, AI is everywhere. But how about that biological cargo? Those intrepid human explorers readying themselves for the conquest of Mars. Are we prepared for what this journey demands of us humans with our fragile bodies and minds? And do we have enough spaghetti? The answer is clear but not comforting. We don't know yet. For centuries, we humans have tried to learn as much as possible about ourselves. While we've learned much about how our bodies work, many unknowns remain regarding our minds. When we embark on missions that take multiple years, we need to take our astronauts' mental condition into careful consideration. A lot of this will come down to selecting the best candidates right at the start of the program. The following years of training will improve their skills and abilities. Still, it'll also be a permanent evaluation of the crew and their ability to work as a group. Such a training and evaluation period can again utilize AI systems with data sets that include scientific research about human physiology and psychology. In fact, humans and AI will likely be trained for such a mission. Both will have to learn how their counterparts function in specific situations. While AI will be at our side as a universal assistant, it'll also monitor the crew and look for early warning signs of health issues. This AI assistant not only knows a lot about human behavior in general, but since they trained together, it knows all members of the crew on a very intimate level. Optimus will be part of the crew. The spacecraft itself will be monitored by AI as well. Its goal is to find out about any issues as early as possible, or even better, before it even becomes an issue. Enter predictive maintenance. By constantly monitoring all available data from onboard sensors and systems, AI software can identify anomalies and alert engineers long before a part or system fails. While earlier systems could only rely on specific sensor data, an AI capable of predictive maintenance can correlate all sensors and system data in real time. If an anomaly is detected, it can even narrow down its findings to specific parts that can then be checked by the human crew. This can significantly extend a spacecraft's useful lifespan and improve the safety of human operators. By now, we've established that all steps toward our first crewed planetary mission will involve AI. But what about our own first steps on the Red Planet? If we're not the first to go anyway, how can AI at least help us place our footprint next to that of Optimus? While we can expect the first robotic mission to Mars to be primarily an amazing technological demonstration, the first human mission has some very real requirements that must be met. Did I mention that Mars is extremely unwelcoming? It represents both a rock and a hard place. If we are brave enough to set foot there, we need to ensure our explorers have a fighting chance on the Red Planet. The top priorities will be power and shelter. High-energy cosmic rays and solar particles bombard the Martian surface due to the planet's thin atmosphere and the lack of a global magnetic field. Now, that's the outlook of a good day on Mars. The Red Planet is well known for its dust storms that can last for weeks or even months, covering the entire planet. The thin Martian atmosphere prevents these storms from producing high winds like those on Earth, but they still pose significant challenges for human exploration and colonization efforts. Although planet-wide storms happen approximately every 3 Mars years, which equates to about 5.5 years on Earth, local storms are quite common. What makes it worse is the composition of the dust. It's an incredibly fine powder, primarily made up of iron oxides or rust. This rust is constantly bombarded by ultraviolet radiation, becoming electrostatically charged and causing it to clinch onto any surface. It's really nasty stuff. For our human explorers, this dust will present very real problems. And before I get into how AI-powered assistants will be an indispensable tool to ensure a safe living environment for humans, let's have a quick look at why this seemingly innocent dust is a clear danger rather than just a nuisance. These start at obvious points like dust covering solar panels and thus lowering their energy output levels, or clogged up cooling radiators that can no longer sufficiently disperse heat. But Martian dust's inherent dangers don't stop here. For one, it is highly abrasive, wearing down equipment, especially moving parts like wheels and joints. This is a serious threat to spacesuit integrity as well. Furthermore, the iron oxides responsible for Mars's beautiful red color can become a threat if ingested or inhaled in significant amounts. And while human moon landings lasted just hours to 2 days, the Martian explorers are in for a much longer stay. We're talking years, at least. So the question is, can AI help with any of these very real problems? Fortunately, the answer is yes, it can, and in a lot of different ways. For starters, it can physically lend the human explorers a hand with the construction of habitats. Hold on, don't we have our spacecraft to retreat to? Well, yes, but not in the long run. While the spacecraft our human explorers landed in is rather big, it will also be packed with supplies and equipment. Crucially, this spaceship is more than just a shelter and a warehouse. It is the return ticket. The only way to get back home. It needs to be protected, especially from the dangers of Martian dust. In all clarity, the return ship will not act as a permanent shelter that humans and their machines get in and out of multiple times per day. The need for a suitable habitat will create a flurry of activity in the quest to create a well-protected and long-lasting shelter with all the needed subsystems to keep humans comfortable. This massive construction effort will not be possible without the use of very sophisticated machinery. We're talking about building equipment which is a whole lot smarter than what we are used to seeing on a construction site on Earth. You can imagine these robots as thinking tools. Machines that can not only perform a pre-programmed task, but are also able to adapt to unforeseen conditions and make decisions on their own. Such robotic construction machines could either be sent on an uncrewed mission before the arrival of humans and autonomously construct a basic habitat, or they could arrive with the humans on a crewed mission. In either case, they will be the biggest factor in ensuring the safety of the first Martians. Going out into the harsh Martian environment is challenging in every way. Each time the explorers venture out into the open, they are exposed to danger. The level of peril is increasing tremendously when handling tools and materials. Being able to use a group of AI-enabled construction machines all but eliminates the need for humans to actually do the physical work. In reality, we'll likely see a mix of very advanced remote control systems coupled with a local instance of AI in the robotic machine itself and a more capable instance of AI running on a server in the landing craft or later in the habitat itself. This all results in a significantly reduced need for humans to expose themselves to the dangers of their new planet. All these benefits are already very significant in the best of times, but they become vital in dangerous situations. Imagine you're looking out the window of your shelter and see a sandstorm coming in. This is a big one, resembling a wall that spans your entire field of view. It's clear that no human can go outside once the storm has reached the shelter. And even now, as it approaches, you should already not set a foot outside. This is the moment you can rely on your trusted AI-enabled machines. They can take over any task needing to be performed in preparation for the storm, like covering up your valuable solar panels or any outside opening in the habitat or bigger machinery. But these machines can do so much more than just prep work. In case of an emergency, they can go out in the worst of conditions and attempt to perform emergency repairs. Will they suffer damage? Sure, they might even get destroyed. But they don't care. They are valuable, but in case of an emergency, more expendable than humans. Especially in life and death situations, AI has a chance to shine. Decisions need to be made without humans in the loop. Time is likely of the essence and communication could break down easily. So the AI will do what it was designed for. Ensure that all systems of the sheltered habitat work as intended. Even if a storm passes through without any direct damage to the habitat, the Mars crew will be more than happy to have robotic helpers for the inevitable cleanup operations as well as any regular maintenance cycles. SpaceX's plans for the first crewed Mars mission state that it will consist of approximately 12 people with goals to build and troubleshoot the propellant plant, Mars base Alpha power system, and establish a rudimentary base. If such a mission is to succeed, these 12 people will need a lot of help from their intelligent tools. But if we as a species are now considering sending out a group of multifunctional robots to places like Mars, does this mean that the golden age of discovery is over for humans? Quite the opposite. AI will enable us to reach destinations we only dreamed of for millennia. AI-controlled robotic feet are likely to stamp those first footsteps into the soil of other worlds before we go there, and that is a good thing. The ways in which we can prepare for the most daring missions in history with AI-enabled systems are invaluable. We can and will greatly benefit from this groundbreaking technology. Our science fiction future is coming closer every day, and our artificial intelligence has already started to accelerate this development. To put it in the words of one of my favorite TV shows, AI will boldly go where no one has gone before. That's it for today. Smash that like button, subscribe for more. This is what fuels the algorithm for free. Check out our epic shirts in your favorite Space Nerd store. A link is in the description and in the card you should see now. And if you want to learn more, watch this video next to continue your journey. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode.